To police, the Covenant School is still a crime scene. A cruiser has blocked its entrance since the shooting. But to this community, the school's gates are now a place to reflect and mourn. While many of those we spoke with who brought flowers had no personal connection to Covenant, what it takes to feel the pain of what happened up this road is only to be human.
I'm 101-year-old, and I've done a lot of things, but this really hurts. And I just hope they're all with God.
There have been more than 130 mass shootings in the United States since January 1st. The politics are emotional and divisive.
Tennesseans, I want to say a few words about what our state experienced yesterday.
This week, Tennessee's Republican Governor Bill Lee called for prayers.
But this is not a time for hate or rage.
The governor opposes stronger gun laws. This week, a federal judge cleared the way for state lawmakers to lower the minimum age to 18 for someone to be able to carry a handgun without a permit. Scripps News spoke with the state lawmaker who has the Covenant School in her district.
We're going in the opposite direction in this state. There are no red flag laws. We passed constitutional carry last year, and we are actually running bills right now to try and make it even easier for people to get a hold of guns.
On the local level, Nashville will pick a new mayor this summer. In total, there are more than 36 mayoral elections happening in 2023, including Chicago, which chooses a mayor on Tuesday. And where public safety is a top concern for voters. The city has a reputation for high crime and has one of the highest murder rates in the country. Scripps News correspondent Vanessa Machanya went to Chicago to see what voters are saying. Why do you feel like this election is getting so much attention and is so important?
You know, really, during the pandemic, we've seen such a large spike in crime, and across the country, there's been a laser focus on this issue in so many different cities. When I see Chicago right now and being there and talking to the voices that I talk to about these issues, you could really see those national sentiments being echoed.
This is Chicago, but it could also be any city in America. It's a place still grappling with pandemic spikes in crime, and its people are still searching for an answer on how to make public spaces safe for everyone.
My name is Frank Chapman, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression.
My name is John Garrido. I'm a retired Chicago police lieutenant. I was on the job for 32 years.
Chicago is also a city in the midst of a contentious battle for mayor between two candidates that have two very different visions for public safety. Opposing viewpoints we've heard echoed across the nation. Strengthen police departments or invest the money into other solutions.
It was an incredibly dramatic change.
Before retiring last November, Garrido says he saw an attitude shift against police that took him and his peers by surprise.
To have your politicians, your local elected officials that are supposed to be supporting you and have your back turn on you so quickly, that's a dramatic impact on morale.
Chicago police recently told media outlets that they have about 1,500 sworn officer vacancies. Last year alone, 1,000 officers left the force, some before they could collect their pensions.
We're operating on fumes right now. The officers are exhausted. It's not a safe working environment for the officers or the community because response times are slower. Backup is slower.
He isn't against changes to policing, but emphasizes the need for a full police force with the ability to retain officers first before any other solutions can be considered.
You can't do more with less when it comes to law enforcement. It's just not safe.
We're not talking about rebuilding trust. We're not talking about trust at all. We're talking about power.
Chapman has been doing advocacy work since the early 70s to rethink how policing could better serve Black communities. He says the distrust of police stretches back generations and that he's heard the argument of needing to get tough on crime before.
The people of Chicago are sick and tired of the problem being recycled by saying the crime rate is up, there's gun violence, therefore we need more police. Police are going to be responsible for making the police better, then it ain't gonna get no damn better. Because that's like the worm investigating its tail.
In February, Chicagoans elected people to its first civilian police oversight board, the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability, something Chapman's organization pushed for.
We don't have faith in promises because politicians make promises all the time. We have faith in the action.
What I found interesting, though, is that there were parallels in Chapman's and Garrido's points of view, particularly when it comes to policing communities of color, which have been historically underfunded and left behind.
You have the police there as an occupying army to control our communities, to make sure that we are hampered and impeded in terms of developing a movement. We know we need housing, we need employment, we need health care, we need all of these things. Well, it's hard to develop a movement around any of those issues if the police is breathing down your neck every day.
We've got politicians that have been elected, some for decades, within those communities, and nothing has changed in those communities.
It's easy to recognize that America has deep-rooted issues that have led to where we are today in terms of people feeling safe. How we solve those, however, continues to be a point of contention. With the results of the Chicago election, we will get to witness another example of either philosophy at work.
The race continues next.